What is going on, everybody? It is Frank the Tank, and welcome to week number 5 of the Summer League series. Uh, Now that week 4 is behind us, I gotta say, after what happened, you guys had quite a bit to say about my choices from last week. The main thing that was discussed was how I was using urethane to start off on the left lane after how the condition of the left lane was. And here's what happened to quickly recap. Before I turned on the camera and the whole thing got started, for the 10 minutes of practice, I was testing out the waters. I picked up my IQ Tour edition and I threw the ball in the right lane and everything was fine. Then I went on the left lane and the ball immediately checked early and went Brooklyn. And I knew instantly that the lane was already messed up. So I thought it would be a good idea to try to use a urethane ball for two reasons. One, I thought it would be a good idea, which clearly it wasn't. And a lot of you let me know of that in the comment section. But the other reason I picked it up was because we all know what urethane does. It doesn't absorb into the cover stock. It picks up oil and it moves it. It takes that oil from the front part of the lane and moves it down lane. Because of there was that very dry spot down lane, that's what I intended on trying to have happen, was to have that oil, a little bit of that oil move down lane by using that urethane ball. So I tried to do two things. One, I thought it was a good idea to try to use that ball because I thought maybe I could get some strikes with it, but like I said, it backfired. And then number two, I tried to get some oil to move down there so that way, you know, once I got a couple throws in there, I could pick up another ball and I wouldn't have any kind of problem, but that clearly didn't work. Of course, yeah, you guys were right on that. And a lot of you pointed out that at that point, because of how messed up that lane was, it would have been a better idea to pick up my spare ball. And you guys were right. You know, I looked back at the video and I thought, you know, my spare ball, it was curving too. So that probably would have been a better option. And, you know, to have to be going that far left with the hustle wrap, why go through that struggle? So, yeah, you guys were kind of correct on that one. And I found out another thing. I found out that, and somebody pointed this out too, Peter the Bowler, shout out to you for pointing this out. He said that a typical mistake that a lot of centers do is not priming the lane oil machine after sitting for a while. And they actually need to run the first pair twice to ensure it is primed and oil is actually applied. So the theory is the center started on lane 1 and it wasn't primed with oil. I talked to a couple of the guys that work there, and as it turns out, whoever was working on that night didn't do any of that. So that explains why the lane was messed up the way it was before the whole thing even got started. So yeah, a lot of lessons were learned here, and I think I know now what to do and what not to do the next time we have to go back on lanes 1 and 2. Because like I said, because this is a really small league, there's not a lot of teams, it's very, very likely that it will be back on that pair real soon. Okay, so our next order of business is my Discord server. I'll be straight up with you guys. It's been dead for quite a long time. I've actually been 0% active on it. I don't even, to be honest with you, I only created it because it seems like that's what everybody, you know, is on nowadays. That along with many other things on social media. But yeah, I didn't really know how to use Discord. I didn't know anything about it. I'm far behind, I guess you could say. But, you know, I created one because, you know, I felt like it was, you know, necessary if I wanted to, you know, stay up to date with whatever is going on today, and Discord is definitely one of those things. But I finally took the time out of my day to actually give it a good remodeling, and I got, you know, up to date with it to see what it is. And yeah, I messed with a bunch of settings. I did a bunch of things on it. I gave it a good, you know, cleaning up, and I created a bunch of text channels as well that I think will be good for all of us to get together and discuss with one another what's going on in the bowling world. So yeah, please, I normally don't ask you guys of anything, but if you want, you can follow me on my Discord server. It is now up and running as we speak. So no guarantees that I'll be active on it all the time, but, you know, if you guys have anything you want to discuss with me or whatever, I'll try my best to get to you, but again, no guarantees. But, you know, again, I'm not the only one that's going to be on here. I know a lot of you, again, I hope that a lot of you will be on there. We can start some discussions with one another. I created a bunch of text channels that I think will be good for us to all get together and have some really good discussions and all that stuff. So yeah, my Discord is up and running finally. I think it's gonna, I think I've got it done properly this time. So yeah, if you want, you can join my Discord server. It is good to go. And the next order of business before we get this thing started is Actually, you know what? There really isn't anything else to update you guys on, and if there is, I probably forgot about it. So anyway, now that we're all done getting you up to speed, we are now going to go ahead and reveal the three-ball arsenal for this week of League. Everybody, so here we go, week number 5, and this time we're going to be on pair 3 and 4. So I've been on this pair before, obviously, and it's a good pair. I've never had a problem with it, and I want to say that I remember that the last time we were on this pair, I believe I was going up against this kid named Donnie. I don't know if you guys, if any of you who kept up with me from the last league, he bowled like a 700 series on this pair, the one thing that I have still yet to do. But yeah, anyway, we're here on 3 and 4, and I think... yeah, I believe I started off with the Rubicon Solid. I finally got the chance to be able to pick up the Rubicon. I've been wanting to for quite a while, but because of all the stuff I have at my disposal, I haven't been able to. But now I finally thought, you know what? Today is going to be the day. I am picking up the Rubicon. I've had so much fun with it in practice. I've had a very good look, a lot of miss room, and I'm like, dude, I've got to use this ball. 3 and 4 would be perfect for this kind of ball, even though I have no idea what the topography is on this lane. But here we go, on the right lane, Rubicon Solid. Great ball that sadly has been discontinued for quite some time. So there we go. Really good shot, kind of nice and easy up the lane. Not really great on the form. And I remember when I threw that shot, I realized I'd forgotten to put on my compression sleeve, but you know, still got away with it. So yeah, another ball that I felt didn't get a good enough chance was the Uproar, and that's why I packed it for this week of League. I mean, it's a great ball, let's be honest, and you know, I felt like maybe I should give it a chance here if I needed to pick it up. So here we go on the left lane with the Rubicon. Better form, not too bad. A little to the right too early, but the power, that was good. That was real good right there. It looked like it went high, obviously, because I left the 9 there, but luckily the messenger took it out. Real good stuff. Love to see it. So yeah, I don't know what it is about me, but I'm sure some of you go through this yourselves, where you have that one ball that suddenly like fills you with confidence, like everything clicks. That was the Rubicon for me. Like everything clicked. I had power, I had control, everything clicked. I knew exactly where to play that ball. I knew I felt like I had the power to do whatever I wanted with that ball, even though my form was clearly not that great. I felt like I could repeat every shot. The confidence was there. It was basically my comfort ball. So my question to you guys is, does that happen to any of you? Do you have that one ball that just makes everything suddenly easy for you? If so, what is it? Alright, so here we are back on the left lane. Off to what I would say is a pretty good start. Strike, 9 spare. 4th frame now. Again, not so great form. And I believe that's the 6, the 9, and the 10. And you know what? Something I got to point out to you guys is my form at the foul line is not that great throughout the night. You know, I was really falling off on a lot of my shots. Despite that, you know, the shots were still pretty good, but it was a little bit slippery on the approach, I will say. And I was doing a lot of that too. All right, here we are back on the right now. See, falling off again, and I'm like, yeah, you see, like I'm thinking, like, what the heck is wrong with me tonight? I mean, the shots, like I said, the shots are still good, but you know, I was slightly bothered by the fact that I kept falling off at the foul line. I mean, it's kind of obvious as to why that's happening. I mean, it's not just the approach; it's also me. I mean, it could be like a timing issue. Could be that I'm leaning in too much to the shot. My lack of knee bend is definitely one of the other factors. Here we go. Fortunately, you can't see it because this lady takes forever just to pick up the stinking ball. But nonetheless, we have another one to bag, and I don't know if that's 2 in a row or 3 in a row already. All right, back on the right. That's better. Really nice. And one thing that really changed after throughout the week was, all right. So I don't know how or what led to this, but on Monday, on this same week, I went to practice and suddenly I had an increase in my speed. Like I used to be only able to throw at like 15.9, between 15.9 and 16.2. And now suddenly I'm throwing much quicker than 16. I'm able to get up to 16 and 17 miles per hour now. Really weird. So yeah, if any of you are really good at reading ball motion, you'll notice the slight increase in speed here. I've been able to easily push to 16 miles per hour like it's nothing. Another great shot. It looked a little left to target, just a little, but nonetheless, it held. Got another one. So yeah, I would constantly keep looking up at the monitor to see what my speed is, and usually I can only top out somewhere between 15.9 and 16.1. But on this night, I was looking up at the monitor and I would notice 16.5. And I don't even feel like I'm trying. It's so weird. Suddenly, like on that Monday practice that I had, on Monday, suddenly, like I just started throwing it quicker and I didn't feel like I was even trying. It's so crazy how that suddenly just clicked on like that. So yeah, I'm over 16 miles per hour now, not just barely 16 miles per hour. And then my spare ball speed, I was checking that too, and it would say 17. So power's going up, guys. Power is indeed increasing. Okay, so on the 10th frame, I didn't even realize that because I'm so mesmerized by my power now. We're on the 10th. This is the second shot now. Fell off on it. Didn't put enough on it, and as a result, it stopped right there. Now I have a bucket to clear, which I failed miserably at, but I wasn't even too mad about it because I looked up at the... I had already known I was over 200, and you know me, when I get over 200, I'm cool with it. So we close out that game with a 250. So now here we go into game 2. Hot start, I would say, and continuing with the same game plan, Rubicon on the left and right. That's pretty good. Nice. I took note of how it hit the pocket, but you know what? All of them looked like they fell back, so I wasn't really too worried. All right, frame 2. After that strike on the first frame, not the greatest of form again, but then again, you have been warned, form is not that great on this night. Okay, frame 3. Off to a really great start after another double to open, just like I did in the first game, I believe. Left of target, and I leave a 9. All right, back on the right. That's a good one. But then there's things like that happen. All right, so now we're on the 5th frame after being removed from that 7-10. Ouch. That one hit me like a slap in the face. And then there's things like that happen. From a 7-10 to a stone 8. Yeah, unfortunately, I lost a bit of my confidence and I did not want to pick up my spare ball, so just to play it safe, I hooked at it. Don't make fun of me. Alright, so this game is not looking too good after what happened. A 7-10 and then a 8-pin. And then that one I messed up. I knew it as soon as I let it go. I didn't put anything on it. Okay, now this here spare is something that definitely should be hooked at. Way too risky to be throwing a spare ball at this, in my opinion. Okay, back on the left. After 7 spare. See, that looked quite quick down the lane. All right, back on the right. Finally, we found a strike. Can we get another? Only just. That was lucky. Okay, 9th frame. After a double. Form looks awful yet again, and that one, to me, definitely looked like it was a little slower. And I even looked up at the monitor, and I'm like, that was a pinch slower. I can't remember. Those last couple of shots were like at 16.5, and then that one was like 16.1, so it made quite the difference. So yeah, here we are in the 10th frame, and I knew that after what happened in the 9th on the left, my chance at a 200 was gone, but luckily we still have game 3 to make up for that. Alright, last shot with the Rubicon. That one definitely looked like it had a little more forward roll to it. And so we close off this game with the 187. Okay, so here we go for the final game of the night, and I decided to make a change. Now on the right lane, we are going with the Uproar based on what has been going on in the second game. So the reason for this was because I was starting to lose that picture of what was going on, and I was starting to lose that control that I had with the Rubicon. You know, like me being able to execute that good shot. It was just, I was losing it up here, so I felt like, okay, maybe we just need a new ball to be able to execute good shots again. So that's just the way I am. I know the picture was probably still there, but I was just not, I was losing that control with the Rubicon. So here we go with that, and as you could see there, I threw it kind of soft there, and the reason for that was because I did pick up the Uproar in the 10 minutes of practice because I knew exactly what I needed to do with the Rubicon. I had that game plan laid out, and that's why I decided, okay, well, let's pick up the Uproar because I don't know what to do with it, and if in case I need to pick it up, I'll be prepared. So because of the RG values and differentials on this ball being quite low, well, the RG on the Uproar being high and the differential being low, I figured this ball is going to skid way the heck out there, but I totally forgot that the cover on the ball totally has it, you know, making a pretty sharp turn to the left despite its numbers. So, yeah, I threw that soft thinking that the ball will make it to the pocket, but clearly, as you can see, it didn't. So because I believe I did strike on this left lane, I didn't have any trouble with the Rubicon, I still continued with it just to see what would happen. So this was like a test shot. And after that, I think is when I decided, okay, we're going to bring the Uproar to this left lane as well. So because of what happened on this right lane, how I threw that ball quite soft, I realized, okay, I can still throw this ball with my normal power and it will make it to the pocket. It won't go towards the 3-6 and miss the pocket. So, yeah, I'm quite surprised, really. I mean, this ball has really high RGs, which means the ball would not respond early. It would get way far down the lane. And it has very low differential numbers, which means technically it doesn't have a lot of hook potential to it. And I guess maybe the cover really defies all that because you guys just saw right there, I left a 9-pin. That thing just totally takes a sharp turn to the left. Really conserves its energy to really be able to take that turn to the left. So, yeah, that's really crazy because technically that would make it one of the weaker balls in my arsenal. That would definitely, in terms of all the pearl stuff, this ball would technically be one of my weakest, which is crazy. So yeah, it's quite amazing to me how the numbers on this ball totally are not what you see here. Take a look. I stood on 23.5 here. Look at that. Look at that. That is heavy right there. That is crazy. So yeah, for the left and right lane with this Uproar, I literally stood in the exact same spot that I was standing with the Rubicon. 23.5 on the left, 23.5 on the right, and that thing is just crazy. So allow me to make a quick correction here. I actually stood on 22.5, and then I moved to 23 on this right lane right here. And I got it to the right too early. Through the nose, well, sort of. It looked like it hit the headpin on its left side, like if I was going Brooklyn and I leave the 610. And let me make another correction. On this left lane, I was already on 23, and then you saw what happened, so then I went to 23.5. So, yeah, on the right lane, I'm on 23. On the left lane, I'm on 23.5. Pretty good shot. Man, that uproar. So yeah, forgive me for talking so much about the uproar, but it's just mind-blowing how good it is and how much hook it has. I think the cover stock definitely is what makes that happen, because if we take a look here, going back to the RG values and differentials, so comparing it to the Hustle Wrap, we all know the Hustle series is a very low performance series, I guess, and it's known for being very lengthy and not having so much hook. And take a look at this. The Hustle Wrap has a 2.53 RG, while the Uproar has 2.55, so technically the Uproar is more lengthier. And then the differential numbers are 0.30, like the Hustle Wrap, so technically the Uproar is weaker than the Hustle Wrap, but that cover stock clearly makes it look like it's not. Take a look. Standing on 23, really good release. Look at that. That is a wicked turn to the left. So yeah, that definitely proves that cover stocks definitely make the difference. And the crazy thing is that this ball has a symmetrical core as well. Alright, here we go back on the left lane. I think I'm still on 23.5, and we're still remaining clean, so luckily I still know how to pick up all my spares. Really nice. Oh, isn't that beautiful or what? Alright, back on the right lane now. And I think it was here where I finally made the move to 23.5, but that was horrible form. Ball deflected, hit in the pocket, and I leave the 10. I was a little bit less worried about picking up this 10 pin than I was the last time, because now I know what I needed to do. Even though I fell off on my form, placed it exactly like where I wanted it to, and bam, we're still clean. Alright, here we go on the left. Hoping that I don't split. Jesus Christmas. That was lucky. The good thing is that I didn't know I needed that in order to get over 200, because if I did know, it would have gotten to my head and I for sure would have screwed that up. But let's be honest, that was lucky regardless. Leaned in too much. Light hit, but I still got away with it yet again. Okay, so for this very last shot in the 10th, something happened, and I don't know what, but take a look. I was certain that I let go of it the right way, but the ball did not want to get back, and usually that kind of reaction only happens when you get too much to the side of the ball, and the ball will end up flaring over the finger holes. But the weird mystery was that when I got the ball back from the ball return, the track flare was on the left side of the middle finger hole, which is like, that's what it's supposed to do. So the ball will flare and curve correctly. And, that one, as you can see, it just went kind of straight. But nonetheless, we finished off with the 203. So finally, a really, really good series for the first time in God knows how long. Well, it probably hasn't even been that long, but it feels like it's been a million years. But nonetheless, we finish off with the 203. And I guess now we move on to the summary. Okay, guys, here we go. League summary, week number 5. So for game 1, we got a really, really nice 250. For game 2, we got a 187. And then game 3, we managed to save that 200 game with what we did in the 10th. I admit I got lucky there, but we got a 203, and that made off for a series total of 640. That is what I'm talking about. Massive improvement over last week's series total, which was 505, which stands as my all-time worst. The series required to raise my average was 555. Obviously, I eclipsed that. And the pin total after week 5 is now 2,830, with 15 games played, and that's going to raise my average from 182.5 from last week all the way up to 188.66. So we still got a chance to get over 200, but I cannot mess this up. And because of this week's performance, my new highest game is now 250, and my highest series is 640 for this league in particular. So we're back in it. We're back in it after that horrible performance last week, and I hope that I can carry on this momentum into next week because I found out that our lane assignment is lanes 7 and 8, and that is a good pair as well. Nothing like 1 and 2, so definitely going to want to take advantage of that. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is. So that's it for week number 5, a really good 640 series. Hopefully we can carry on doing just like this, and hopefully we can get back into being a 200 average like we were in the last league. So that's it for this video. I'm Frank the Tank. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next week.